going, everyone? Thank you for watching and listening to another episode of Insightful Principles. Within this content today, I'm going to really talk about instant versus delayed gratification and really understanding the mindset when it comes to your finances. And I'm going to talk about this concept called time preference and what a lower versus a higher time preference means for all of us when we're making financial decisions on a day-to-day basis. If you all can do me a huge favor, please like, subscribe, and share this video. And don't forget to hit that notification bell so you can be notified every week when I drop content. So when it comes to money, you all have heard it, you may have known it. It comes down to your mindset. You know, when you think and you have the right actions and behaviors when it comes to your finances, you have a great financial life. You're good with money and you're able to make smart decisions where you're able to have that security down the line. But if you're out and you're just consuming your money all the time, you're not really thinking about long-term thinking as far as investing it, you don't budget, or you're a person that goes out a lot and spends your money with being with friends, then those financial decisions could be the one thing that hinders you down the line. So having the mindset of approaching your finances in the right capacity is so vitally important. You know, you are what you think. You know, if you have a thinking of abundance, you're going to have abundance in your life. If you have a thinking of poverty, you're going to bring poverty into your life. You know, I think the mind is the most important aspect when it comes to money. And a lot of this really isn't so much information, but it's our behaviors and our actions of what we do on a consistent basis that leads to us being successful or unsuccessful when it comes to our finances. And essentially, every day we have this mindset of, okay, am I going to sacrifice the short-term gain for the long-term benefit, or I'm going to sacrifice the long-term benefit for the short-term gain? And exactly what this is instant versus delayed gratification. Now, when it comes to instant gratification, an individual is going to discard a future benefit in order to obtain a less rewarding but an immediate benefit. So you may have someone that they rather go out and party with friends instead of taking that money and investing it long term. Delayed gratification is when someone will forego an immediate gain in order to obtain a more rewarding long-term benefit. So this could be someone that decides to buy a more functional and affordable car instead of buying an expensive one that's going to cause them to go into a lot of debt. So these are decisions that we're constantly on an everyday basis we're having to think about. And a great way to think about instant versus delayed gratification is the Stanford Marshmallow Experiment that was produced in the late 1960s, where psychologist Walter Mischel, he left children in the room and he pretty much had a marshmallow on the table and he had a cookie. And he pretty much told them that, you know, you can have the candy if you want, but if you wait 15 minutes, when he comes back into the room, you'll get an extra piece of candy. So what ended up happening was, you know, you had some children that they ate the candy immediately because they couldn't resist the urge and they wanted that immediate benefit. And then you had others that waited, which is that delayed gratification, in order to have that more rewarding second piece of candy. And the ones that ate it immediately, that's instant gratification. He also, later on, he ended up following up with a lot of the students that he did the survey with, and the children that ended up waiting and had delayed gratification, they ended up having a lower time preference. They ended up having higher ACT scores, a better achievement when it came to their education, and they also had a lower body mass index. So they weren't overweight, or they didn't have different issues with health, and they were able to be a lot more they did a lot better when it came to their education. So I thought that was very interesting. And this experiment explains a concept called time preference that when I first read about it, it was in the Bitcoin Standard by Savdian Amos. He's the author of the book, and he pretty much talks about how, you know, we all have these decisions with a lower time preference and a higher time preference, and that's really the economics when it comes to decisions each and every day. And in this scenario with the experiment, the children that had the lower time preference were the ones that were able to wait, that had the delayed gratification, and they ended up getting a more rewarding long-term benefit. And the students that had the higher time preference were the ones that couldn't wait at all. We have time preference with every financial decision we make on an everyday basis, whether it's the decision to consume our money rather than saving and investing it, or investing in our skill sets to be able to obtain future employment to become more valuable in the marketplace rather than seeking immediate employment with lower pay. A great way to think about time preference is a person that makes a sacrifice to save and invest over a long period of time is going to be the one that has financial security and freedom, which in result allows them to lower their time preference and have a better quality of life. And therefore, the individual can focus on other things that give them a higher meaning in life, whether it's an individual that wants to be able to give back and leave a lasting contribution within their community or even to the world. And in result, this allows a civilization to be able to become more productive, and you just have a more thriving society where there's more capital accumulation and the economy is growing instead of contracting. And therefore, people are just have the benefit of being able to leave the world a much better place for their children when they pass away. Now, when you think about having a higher time preference, a person is more focused on the immediate gain. So I talked about the instant gratification. These people are the ones that they're more consumers of their money. They're not investing their money. They're not putting their time into activities that is going to give them value, that's going to allow them to be more productive. They're just spending their time frivolously and their money frivolously, and they're not really having that long-term thinking. And these financial decisions will cause you to either have to reduce the amount of time that you have to work or extend the amount of time you have to work. So that's why it's so important to invest aggressively. Definitely you want to be smart and make sure that you are making wise decisions with your money. But that's why, investing over a long period of time consistently, having a discipline and tuning out the noise is so important, because it allows you to reduce your time preference and focus on activities that you enjoy doing and that give you a sense of purpose, with not having to just go through the day-to-day of having to work for your whole entire life. And the advancement of civilization is not so much about capital accumulation, but it's about what the accumulation of capital can provide for humans. Being able to have a better quality of life, being able to achieve freedom, and being able to have a standard of living that gives you the freedom of time. Because that's what we all strive for. We want to have the freedom of time so we can do whatever we want in life, whether that's spending more time with family, focusing more on your spiritual calling, and being able to help other people be able to have a relationship when it comes to God, or being able to travel more across the world, being able to focus more on your passions and your hobbies. So that's why lowering your time preference is so essential and is so key. And it's one thing that we all have to think about when it comes to money. It's always a constant decision as far as, okay, am I going to spend this money, or am I going to be smart about it and say, okay, let me put some of this and let me invest it. Let me plan for the long term. Let me look at ways of how I can prepare, because that's the best way you're going to be able to take control of your financial decision, is every day preparing, every day focusing, and having that mindset of understanding that I have to approach my financial decisions in a way of lowering my time preference so I don't have to work my entire life. So I thank you all so much for tuning into this episode. If you all can please continue to like, subscribe, and share. Don't forget to hit that notification bell so you can be notified every week when I drop content. And thank you all for watching, and take care.